you really have to lead by example. That was a big lesson for me, is just really putting in the time, the work, and not being above anything, and really just showing up for others who are working with me. I'm really letting them into the big picture of why we're doing this, so that they can really have some stake in the game too with it and feel a part of it.
Welcome to Inspiration Rising. I'm David Trotter, a business growth consultant passionate about helping women and men double your business online, all without the paralyzing overwhelm, feeling all alone, or wondering what the heck to do next. I'm a serial entrepreneur and former pastor who's passionate about personal growth, because that's what's helped me cultivate peace in my life and empowered me and transformed me to love my amazing wife, Laura, of 26 years, and our 2 almost grown kids. So if you're all about business, personal growth, and peace in your life, you're in the right place. I'm super glad that you're here. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Inspiration Rising. It is great to have you with me. Now, you may be listening today thinking, I really want to start a business, but I don't have experience with what I want to do. Maybe you want to start a coffee cart, for example. Maybe you've never even worked at a coffee shop and you're going, I haven't done it before. I don't know if I could do this, but I want to own a coffee cart, or you have an opportunity to own a coffee cart. Or let's just say you have this passion for health and you want to launch a line of health supplements, but you've never done something like that before. You've never worked at a health and nutrition shop. You're not a doctor, but you really are passionate about health supplements. Or maybe you want to create a clothing company like Desiree Buchanan. Desiree had no background or experience in making a line of clothing. She had no background in textiles. She wasn't a designer, none of it, but she had a vision for what she wanted to create and a tenacity to figure out every step of the way. Desiree had a vision for creating a high-quality clothing line for women that includes sizes for a wide range of body types. She wanted to minimize her carbon footprint, and she wanted to ethically manufacture in the United States while making the product financially accessible. I mean, these 4 things really just don't go together generally, okay? If you have a really high-quality line of clothing, it's probably going to be pretty expensive and manufactured. It could be manufactured in the U.S., but then also, if you want to minimize your carbon footprint, well, then it's going to probably be more expensive as well. I mean, just all these things that she's wanting to do really don't necessarily fit together, but she figured it out. She founded Pop Linen, which I asked her about the name later in the interview, which I think you'll find fascinating. She founded Pop Linen in 2019, just in time for the pandemic. What the heck? And her company offers timeless styles, these essential items for women, and they range from extra small to triple X. Now, I want Desiree's story to be an inspiration to you. I want you to know that you can start a business and learn about all of the industry and everything that's involved and be tenacious in the process, and she's an incredible example. Now, before we jump into the conversation, I want to invite you to watch my new workshop on 5 deadly mistakes sucking the life out of your business. Now, you can find out if one of these mistakes is holding you back. And once you understand what these missteps are all about, you'll be much better equipped to grow your business in the next year. You can check it out at insporising.com/workshop. That's insporising.com/workshop. All right, let's jump into my conversation with Desiree Buchanan. Well, Desiree, thanks so much for taking some time to hang with me today. I appreciate it.
Of course. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So when I look at Pop Linen, or any clothing line, one of the first things that I always think to myself is, what did the founder believe was missing in the marketplace? Like, why did they start this? Was it just like a cool idea? Or was there actually something missing where it was like, no, consumers need this? What was it for you? Cool idea or something missing?
I find it's a little bit of this hybrid. For me, I thought, cool idea. I love the idea. of really trying to disrupt a little bit. I know that word's used a lot, but just kind of try something different with clothing and in the sense of sustainability, and really kind of sharing this message around an inclusive brand that really wants to strive to make women feel more than, not less than. I mean, I love fashion. I love clothing. I love having my own style. And there's definitely brands that I've really enjoyed for like one particular thing. And I kind of just saw a few brands and thought, if I could just like pull all of these together, this would be the perfect brand to me. And really focusing on one, higher quality fabrics that are super, durable, but also natural, biodegradable, premium in that they would last longer, better for your skin. And then also I had thought about just wanting to have this brand be more inclusive to women, by offering extended sizing and really sharing in our marketing a picture that all women could feel connected to, making sure we were diverse in the way we shared our message, making sure that we were sensitive towards different women's needs, making sure our product actually, would fit well and complement, women of different, size and shapes. So those are all things that really mattered to me, and just having that traceability of knowing where it's made, putting the values and the ethics of it, and also, in the actual impact we were having on the planet. So those things I felt like were the things that I thought would make this really cool, and also like speak to a lot of women who wanted to, strive for something different and were conscious about the consumer choices they were making. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of all that was coming together in about 2017 as I was starting to dream this up.
That's right. That's a lot. Like,
yeah,
you're like,
I know.
Okay, I'm going after high quality, sustainable, fabrics and manufacturing. I want to know where it's manufactured. I want to diverse women in my marketing, and I want to have different sizes, and it's got to look good and feel good.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I still to this day, I'm like, wow, that is a lot, and it is a mouthful, but I think with today's accessibility to different things and, being able to be more resourceful through just having, the internet, for example, it's been a journey for sure, but it's also been something that I think, the customer really expects now. They really expect you to be able to check off those boxes, and they're interested, and we've seen that demand, which is exciting. So we will continue to do what we can to meet that need and to also grow. It's really exciting to me to see, especially, that, millennial generation really, want that, and see, I'm kind of moving on from this, fast fashion, buying from the mall, and really trying to like make purchases that are better for me, better for the environment, and better, for my overall just outlook on life in the future.
Mm-hmm. You use this term fast fashion. Help us understand, if we're not aware of it, what is not sustainable about fast fashion?
It's tricky because fast fashion is, it's very much a part of our lives, and it's what makes it.
Just to jump in here, fast fashion. We're talking about like new things coming out every season. We're talking about H&M. We're talking about Zara, right? It's just like inexpensive, made in some country by small children. Hopefully not.
I know. I didn't mean to laugh, but I was like, I know it's that bad.
That's what it is, right?
It is. And, fast fashion it really is the antithesis of sustainability, because it really can't be. You are dealing with these big companies that are cutting costs in all different directions. That obviously affects lives. There's not a lot of transparency into how things are done. You are dealing with creating styles and churning them out as quickly as possible, which means as soon as something hits the floor, if it's not selling well, you discount and discount and discount until you can't anymore. And then if it doesn't sell well, you're left with all this, mass production of something. What do you do with it? A lot of times it ends up in landfills. You're also dealing with just the impact on the environment, high levels of chemical toxicity in the water. It's such a big contributor to just the harmful impacts on on land and water. So it's a lot that adds up over time. And if you have a lot of companies doing that and there's not a real solution around it, you have all this backup of bass production. Like, what do we do with it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary. That's not sustainable years to come.
Mm-hmm. So why should I buy something, at Pop Linen versus going to H&M at the mall who's got a sale and I've got this shirt for $15, that it'll last me a few months and then I'll move on to something else.
Right.
That's really tempting. Like, why should I not do that? Like, I'm not seeing the environmental impact. I'm not seeing the poor small child. I'm just enjoying my $15 shirt.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's sometimes like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place with, trying to share and express the value and educate others on what's the difference and why paying a little bit more means something. And I think in our culture, we're so used to, the instant gratification of having now and just dealing with the now, and enjoying that and not thinking of the repercussions after. So I get that. And I've been the college student that, has $20. What can I get with this to for this thing I have to be at, or this dress I have to wear? So I understand that, but we're just trying to teach, like, it's progress, not perfection. The more we can get in front of people, the more we can share the message around the importance of sustainability and the importance of, less is more and quality over quantity. I think we can start to have people's behavior change where they create a little more space in their lives for these kinds of products, that when they see the difference and they see that this shirt's actually going to last longer because it's a better material, that even when you're done with it, it's going to biodegrade, it's going to be gone, it's not going to stay on this planet forever in some weird shape or form. And also that, we're trying to think of the long term of this brand. So we're working towards, should someone buy a shirt from us and 5 years later, they're like, oh, it has a hole now in the sleeve, we could be able to take that back, either mend it or, give them a discount for further products on our site, and then take that shirt and repurpose it into something different with upcycling the material. So we're really trying to think of every stage of this product's life cycle and repurpose it or make opportunities for our customers to not have to just rid of something when they're done. But yeah, it's definitely a work in progress.
When I look through the products on your website, they are, well, let me ask you this. Who would be the target audience for the products on your website? And how do you choose the styles that you are going to, bring to market?
That's a great question. We've started with just really trying to hone in on like those everyday essentials that women want in their lives, and really trying to just kind of mix a little bit of like what's happening right now, what's trending, with what are pieces that are the staples that we all love that we'll continue to repurpose and use. So we really built the collection off that concept. And when we make everything in small batches, so anywhere from like 100 to 200 per style. And if that does well, we'll make more of those and replenish the site. If it doesn't do well, luckily we didn't make too many, so we can then either sell that at some type of sale or a pop-up. And then we introduce new styles with the feedback we get from customers. So luckily, because of social media and just a lot of that engagement that we really try to foster with our customers, we do get real-time feedback and reviews, and that's great. And it helps us kind of decide what's next for us. So that's kind of how we do our collections. We really don't do this big collection, put it out there and see how it sticks. We really try to do each style and design thoughtfully and in a cadence of dropping, every 2 weeks and every month, something new, and see how our customers react to it.
All manufactured in Los Angeles.
Yes, all manufactured.
Not by small children.
No, not by small children. It's actually really, really cool. We have great partnerships with these factories. They're smaller. We've been introduced by other brands that, align with our values. And I actually really enjoy going down there. I check in on them often, and especially during COVID, it's great to see that our factories are practicing the social distancing. They've reduced their staffs. Everyone wears a mask, fresh air going through, hand sanitizer stations, and, clean water. So they're really trying to just do the right thing and not put anyone in danger, which is important to us as well. Things are a little bit more slower, but I don't mind that because obviously we're in a really traumatic time. And I think it's really important that we're obviously putting the people first who are a part of our business and supply chain. So, we're just taking it day by day.
I love this Ren upcycled denim open smock. And I see some behind you, I believe. Is that what I'm seeing
right
there?
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's pretty cool. It's just this open jacket that kind of lays out, and it's made with upcycled denim. So,
and what does upcycled mean? It's like just leftover denim?
Yeah, that's a great question. Exactly. So it's denim scraps that the company we worked with kind of collected over time. They've taken those and then pulled them together and repurposed them into this new denim. So that's what we decided to do this jacket with. It's a company based out of Guatemala, and they're doing all these wonderful, innovative things with, old fabrics and repurposing them. So you see a little bit of like this like pulp texture to it, but it's really beautiful.
And all the fabrics, you mentioned that they're not going to be in the landfill forever. I've seen the list here. I can't find it on your website right now, but like list off the types of fabrics that you use. Organic cotton was the only one I recognized.
Yeah, definitely. Organic cotton, classic. It's something we like to work with a lot. Tencel also is another fabric I personally really love. It's super durable. It's made from the fibers of beechwood trees, and natural, super soft, feels really great, and blends really well with like a cotton. We use it for our sweatshirts and some of our long sleeved tops. And we also use modal, which is also another fabric that's made from a fiber of trees. That one's really moisture wicking, super soft. So a lot of these fabrics I choose because they're incredibly soft and they feel great, they look great, and they wash really well.
So like I'm looking at a Mercedes linen long sleeve shirt on your website. It's $68. And, I go, wow, that's probably maybe like $20 more, $25 more than somebody might pay at Banana Republic, or Banana Republic might be around the similar price. So your pricing is not like astronomical. We're not talking about $150, long sleeve shirt here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a quality linen. We've gotten, great feedback on that product. Again, I think, doing this direct to consumer, keeping everything localized, small batches, we've been able to make this more affordable. My whole thing is I really want to make sustainability accessible to people. I feel like a lot of times with any type of company that's really promoting the organic cottons or doing things in a sustainable way, the costs are really astronomical, and in a lot of ways they have to be. I get that, but our whole thing was I'm going to do this direct to consumer so I can really cut out those middle costs and make this more affordable. So still on the higher end, but not as bad, and it doesn't break the bank as much as you would think it would. So so that's kind of how we've been able to do that so far.
Did you have a background in fashion before starting this company? Like, how did this all come about?
Yeah, so I definitely do not have a design background or fashion in the sense of manufacturing and production, but I did work in fashion editorial and magazines in New York. So I worked for Vanity Fair for a bit, Vogue in their beauty department, and Travel and Leisure. So I got to work alongside people who, really understood the fashion industry, celebrated it, lifestyle, art, culture, all those things I was surrounded by, and I really, really enjoyed and got to kind of really develop my own, sense of style and taste. And in that process, just really started to read a lot about these companies coming up that were really trying to address the issue around the environmental impact of fashion. So I got really interested in it at that time and thought to myself, I don't see why more companies aren't addressing this if it's, such a big issue. And we can be accessible to these different types of sustainable products. Like, why can't more brands intertwine this? And that was probably like 10 years ago. And over time, you've seen a lot of brands start to really make commitments to this, which is exciting. But yeah, that was kind of my start. And then I spent the last couple of years working for two startups. One was an eyewear company called Warby Parker, direct to consumer. And the other was a men's tuxedo rental company based out here in LA called the Black Tux. So at both companies, I really saw how people just started these ideas from the ground up and grew the company, scaled it. I saw the process of a product starting from just a sketch to being fully out there and in customers' hands. So that really excited me because I kind of got to see, wow, I mean, it's definitely intense. It's definitely a process, but it's doable.
Sure.
And that was exciting to me. So I got to really be a part of those teams and their marketing and branding. And that really helped me with coming up with Pop Linen.
Okay. So get into some of the nitty gritty of this, because we have women who are listening who are thinking about business options, and you've got everything from network marketing to sell somebody's network marketing clothing to maybe start my own clothing line. Mm-hmm. Like how did you get started? Did you have your own capital? Did you have friends and family money? Did you take a loan out? Did you put it on credit card? Did you hire a designer? Did you design things yourself? Like, take us through a few of those steps.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an absolute process, and still to this day. I mean, all kinds of different things you're pulling out of your hat. But to start with, I basically started the company with some capital I had saved up. I've saved about 10, 12 grand.
Okay.
And that definitely was not enough, but it was something to start with. It was something to start dabbling with and doing some research with. And in that process of kind of figuring out what it is we're going to do and what pieces we're going to make, I decided to do a Kickstarter to kind of really put Pop Linen on the map and get some feedback and get my initial community around the concept. And that was really fun. Did a fun video. We met our goal. We tried to raise $25K and we got that. So that was good. I think we got a little bit over that, which was exciting. And that was what we were able to initially do that first small collection around.
And how did you,
to our customers.
25 grand, I've done several, Indiegogo pop, Kickstarters.
Yeah.
At 25 grand is a good amount. And so did you have a lot of support from, people that you had worked with at Warby Parker and the Black Tux, or other people, you know what I mean? Or you have a big family? How did you do this? Yeah,
that was a lot. I realized, wow, that is a lot of money. And halfway through, I'm like, wow, we really got to start getting out there. And it was a lot of the individuals, like family who came around, of course, individuals from the different companies I had worked at, also random people who found the video from Kickstarter were really rooting for us and getting excited around it, which was exciting to me because I just really had no idea what I was doing. I was just throwing it out there and putting my best foot forward and sharing it. And a lot of friends and family shared that with their friends, and it kind of just rippled effect eventually. And we did it for about a month. And so I had some time to really share the message, and just every day I'd write 10 new people or just share about it or just say, hey, check this out. And and it really started to kind of domino effect towards the end, and we got to our goal, which was great.
Were you at your day job at the same time, or had you already resigned?
I had already resigned. So I was working on this nights and weekends during my day job at the Black Tux. And then towards when I was ready to launch it, I just stopped doing that. I was like, this is the time to do it, now or never kind of thing. I just had my first child, my daughter, she's 4 now. And so I knew like time was really kind of crunched for me to say the least.
Yeah.
But it was also exciting. I thought, this is, I've learned a lot. I've put in the work with a career and understanding kind of how things are done. And I really wanted to just give it a go. So that Kickstarter was super helpful. And I would really recommend to anyone who wants to do something like that to really understand it's not just that 1 month that or that couple weeks you're doing the campaign. It's all the time before that of planning it out, focusing on the strategy of the calendar of creating social posts around it to spread awareness, making your list of emails of people you want to reach out to, even trying to get some PR around it. There's just a lot of work that goes into it. It's like a full-time job.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've done it with I've done it with 4 feature films. So
wow, that's exciting.
I've done Indiegogos, and I've been involved in some client marketing projects that have done it. It's a big deal. Yeah. And so 25 grand may feel like, it's not that a lot of money in terms of like some of the big deals, but I just know how much work it takes to get 25 grand. So great job. That's amazing.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay. And then you, did you hire a designer? Did you how did you find your manufacturing facility?
Yeah. It was a lot of word of mouth. It was a lot of me knocking on doors, Google search, but you go to downtown and you just walk in a lot of these different little neighborhoods, side streets, and you find these factories or these little label making companies, or I did hire a production manager, like consultant, for a little bit of time to kind of really help me learn the ropes with a pattern maker and the phases from making a pattern to a tech pack to having your fittings with your fit models to make sure you get the fit right. And for us, we have 2 fit models. We have our size small for our contemporary fit, and then our size 2X for our curvy fit. So that really helps us as the sizes extend to get the fit right across the board, which is important to us. And it was just a lot of trial and error. Me going to different like textile shows, showing up, being like, I'm such a fraud here. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Totally. Yep.
No, not my industry, but just
it's all good.
Just making it happen. And for me, at my personality, it's fun to do that. Obviously, it can be stressful, but it's just the way you kind of chip away and you realize, oh, this is what kind of everybody's doing when they're figuring it out, and really learning who are good sources for the sustainable fabrics, or who's my good pattern maker that will get the size fit right, and putting our site on Shopify, and that's a great platform when you're a small company and you're building out your design and your products, and it has a whole back end that's super easy. So I'd really recommend that to people who want to start up like a store or something. But it just all kind of came together, and I was kind of doing this just me and a couple interns, and now we have different teammates for different things. Still small team, but I just try to keep things really nimble for now until it makes sense to grow. And right now, since we're all working remotely, that makes it easier with no office space or overhead like that.
Gotcha. So you're 100% direct to consumer at this point. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And how do you get the word out? Is it just 100% Facebook ads? Like, what are we looking at here? How if somebody wants to start how many people, especially guys, not too many girls want to do this, but it's like a t-shirt company. Oh my gosh. How many t-shirt companies, Desiree, have you seen people, don't start another t-shirt company, start something like Desiree. This is awesome. How do you get the word out?
We did some Facebook ads. What I've seen with those, honestly, personal experience for where we're at, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You've got to put in an extensive amount of money and budget, like thousands and thousands of dollars per month to really start to see, your money kind of come back to you. And even then it's not really matching. So, some people it works really well. I did that a little bit. I actually found that our advocate program has worked really well for us. So we started during early spring of this year. We realized, okay, a lot of our normal revenue channels aren't going to work. We don't have our pop-ups. We don't have our craft fairs. We don't have, these different partnerships in store. So we need to kind of transition and really drive traffic online. So
can I interrupt here? You said you were doing pop-ups and craft fairs. This is brilliant. So tell me how you did this.
Yeah, I honestly recommend that for small brands. It's a great way to get in front of people and, a new consumer and get feedback in the moment. People go to these fairs really looking for these little new fun brands that are popping up, whether that's in the food category or home decor or clothing. So we got our start by just setting up a booth, sharing about, having our clothing there, me being there, a fitting room. And it was great. We would really see a lot of success. And then those customers would transition to online, which was really awesome. So I'd really recommend that. They're all over. But again, with COVID, there's not really anything happening just because they do bring large amounts of people together.
Did you, I don't know if you were probably maybe ready for unique markets. Did you guys sell at Unique?
Yeah, we did. Actually, we did that twice last summer. And I think one of their holiday markets.
Yeah. I started a plush toy manufacturing business with little robots. And so I sold it Unique like several times, like 10 years ago. So it's an incredible.
Wow.
And for those of you who are listening, Unique, it used to be called Unique LA. Now it's called Unique Markets. Unfortunately, the business is in a bad condition right now because of COVID.
Yeah.
There are no events, and that was their whole business. The founder's name is Sonia Rozala. I think that's how you say her last name. I might have butchered
I
it,
think
but
you're right. Yeah, great woman.
she's
A
amazing.
lot of work goes into these. It's
Oh,
hard to see these
yeah.
companies suffering like this because they did so much for the community.
Yeah, but hopefully they'll come back, and they're not just in LA now, they're all over. But that's fun that I totally see you selling it unique. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, okay, let's talk for a moment about lessons, because I love that. I just love your story. You don't know. I mean, you do have a background, like being at Warby Parker and the Black Tux. That's a huge, like, just you see the vision. You see, like, oh yeah, I could do this. Like, this is possible.
Yeah.
This is possible. Um,
Yeah.
Frankly, I look at what you've done and go, I mean, creating the product almost seems like easier than selling it, because like
Mhm.
you now have to find customers, and this is like,
Right.
that's a lot of work. Money,
It is.
money and hard work can help you create a line. But
Mhm.
like, I guess money and hard work can still help you create a consumer base, but that's a lot of work that you're doing, to create these advocates and these relationships and stuff.
Mhm.
Am I right?
Yeah, it's totally. I mean, you think you reached you overcome one milestone, and
Yeah.
then there's 20 more. And
Yes.
you're exactly right. Like I thought the hard work was creating the line, finding my people, getting the working relationships down. Oh, that was the easy part.
That was the
Now
easy part.
it's really
Yes.
building this brand and making it last, and especially during such uncertain times, that's been the real challenge. And
Yeah.
but I think that's what's so important is staying really versatile, staying super curious, and just continuing to try new things. And us being so small and me really running it, we're able to be agile. I think one of the cool fun things we did when COVID first hit and we heard that face masks were going to be a part of life is we took all our organic cotton and we started to make masks right away. I had my sewers working from home, gave them the patterns and said, okay, let's just make a couple hundred, see how they do. And we sold out immediately. And so that really carried us through summer, just helping not only sell masks to our customers, but it brought all these new people to the site because they were Googling, non-medical face masks, things like that. So that was really exciting. And again, just a moment of, okay, we're hitting this super big challenge. Let's not freak out. Everyone wants to freak out, but just trying to make it an opportunity. And I know that sounds very optimistic and super hopeful, but I think that's when you're an entrepreneur, you just have to do that to survive.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go back to the lessons. Okay, one of the lessons that it's my lesson. It's easier to make a line than it is to sell it. That's one lesson.
That is one lesson. Definitely, always will be a lesson.
Give me some other lessons. Like what are some things that you feel like, oh man, I really learned this along the way. This was challenging. It could be very detail oriented to the industry, or it could be leadership, CEO oriented. What are some things that you think about?
Yeah, I mean, one thing for sure that I think about is just you really have to lead by example. It's such an important, rule for life. I think, especially as an entrepreneur who's new at this and is starting to work with all kinds of different people, you have to put in the work too. I mean, not that I'm not wanting to, but I've noticed when you can set that example and set that bar and that expectation for yourself, others see that and rise to the occasion with you and are motivated by that. And for me, it's constantly that reminder of the golden rule. Like, okay, if I want things done this way, I have to be able to do that myself, and I have to be able to just treat others the way I'd want to be treated in this situation. So that was a big lesson for me, is just really putting in the time and the work and not being above anything, and really just showing up for others who are working with me or alongside me, and keeping them really excited about the work, and really letting them into the big picture of why we're doing this, so that they can really have some stake in the game too with it and feel a part of it. So that's a big one. I also just think, I had briefly mentioned this before, but staying super curious to everything happening around you. I think when you start to kind of grow, when you see some wins, you can relish in that and become comfortable. And obviously there's so much more you're going to have to overcome. And there's so many different things that will come with each phase of growth. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just really important to embrace those things and to always kind of stay on your toes with, how can we be improving? How can we continue to just receive feedback and use that to better the company or ourselves or our team, and constantly kind of trying to foster that culture around the brand and staying true to why I started this. Because I think it is easy to kind of get away from that when you start to feel like there's these other demands around you or the company. And but that's really important to me, that I always, stay curious, stay in the know of what's happening and how things in the world are affecting what we do, and when we can speak up and stand up for things that are important, and when we can utilize the brand as a vehicle for good through our give back program. There's just different ways this company can be more than just selling clothing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Desiree, poplinen.co. What the heck? What's up with Calm? How much did they want for it? How much?
I am really upset about this.
How much did they want?
I don't even know, because they won't get back to us. Can you believe that? So
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, I tried with, having GoDaddy reach out. I mean, full disclosure, definitely wanted it, but it was at one point this website that sold actual like linens, and then now it says it's available. So maybe I'll try again, but we've gotten away so far with .co, but it is a little tricky for some people.
Poplinen.co. And I love the button in the logo. So cool. And I like that it's smaller. It's not like the full O.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Pop Linen?
Great question. It's actually, when I was doing the Kickstarter, I finally had to have a name. People were like, okay, you need a name now because we're going to put this live and it just can't be like Desiree's thing. And I'm like, true. So I just kind of was playing around with words, and the first two fabrics we worked with, still my favorite fabrics, poplin and linen. And two great fabrics. Linen's just essential for summer, and poplin is a form of cotton that's super soft and light. And I just meshed the words, and we got Pop Linen, and it was available on Instagram. I just thought, hey, you know what? We should go with it. That's how I came up with it.
Very cool. Poplinen.co. We'll send everybody there. That's easy to check out. And if they go there, there's a pop-up for what? There's a coupon or something? Did I see a coupon right now?
There is not a coupon, but if they use Welcome 15, they'll get 15% off on their order. So feel free to do that.
Welcome 15. I thought there was a pop-up with a discount. My apologies.
But if they sign up for our newsletter, they definitely get a discount. Yeah,
that's what I saw. That's what I saw. Yeah. Yep. Very cool. All right. Yep. Poplinen.co. Desiree, thank you for just sharing openly about your journey. And I'm inspired. And this is like a little crash course in how to start a clothing line just in 45 minutes. So super cool. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I just scratched the surface, but I'm always open to talk to anyone or help give any just feedback on my own experiences, because there was a lot learned. So thank you for your time.
Hey, congrats on listening to another episode of Inspiration Rising. Why congrats? Because you're pouring education and inspiration into your mind and heart. And that's something we all need if we're going to grow our businesses and reach our goals in life. Now, if you enjoy Inspiration Rising, do us a favor, share it with a friend. Take a screenshot of your favorite episode and text it to them. Tell them to search for Inspiration Rising on their favorite podcast app and click subscribe. And if you haven't already, be sure to sign up for InspoText. That's our daily inspirational text messages. Just text me right now at 949-401-6090. That's 949-401-6090. Just say, hey, Dave, what's up? You'll get an automated reply with a link where you can add yourself as a contact. And of course, you can always unsubscribe. I want you to know today that you're inspired, empowered, and loved. Not because of the way you feel or what anyone else says about you, but because that's your true identity.